Hey, what's up, fam? Welcome back to the Bring the Heat podcast. We're your hosts, Miriah, Bashar, and Ryan. Fellas, what's up? Happy Tuesday. How you guys doing?
Happy Tuesday. Even though it's not a victory Tuesday, it's still
That's
a
right.
happy
It
Tuesday. We're all happy,
it
aren't we?
kind of is. It kind of is a victory Tuesday because we don't play this week because we won so much this season.
Yep.
We won more than any other
True.
team in the NFC. So you can kind of look
Yeah.
at it as that.
There you go. Good job,
Yep.
Ryan.
Yep.
Plus, we lost a
What's up?
preseason game. Who's upset about losing a fucking preseason game?
Well, if it really didn't count against the record, that would be one thing, but it still
It
does.
didn't.
So
It didn't knock us out of the
technically,
first seed.
yeah, but still, it's not a preseason game when it counts
Yes,
against the
sir.
record.
No, I got you.
What's up, chat? Hope everybody's doing great. We got Don in the house. What's up, Don?
Don. What's up?
We got Throwback in the house. What's up, Throwback? He says, thanks for tuning in, faithful. Make sure y'all smash that like button and subscribe to all channels. If you're tuning in for the first time or you're not, for some reason, subscribe to Bashar and to Ryan. Please make sure that you do so. Their links are in the description in the description box of this video. Make sure you subscribe to them. We do rotate this podcast every week. So next week it'll be on one of their channels. Following week it'll be on the other next channel, and so forth and so forth on. So make sure that you subscribe to all three channels. It's greatly appreciated. We got 49er Chanel in the house. What's up, Joel? Hope you're doing well. 49ers Jive. What up? What up? Hope everyone enjoys that stress-free bye week. Yep, we get to kick our feet up this
Stress-free.
weekend, watch football, watch other guys go home. We don't have to worry about it. So doing great on that front. What's up, David McNiner?
McNiner.
We got Huxley in the house. Says, hey, fairies.
Tommy Huxley.
You know,
I don't know who the fairies are, but
I really am
yeah.
gay. On the other hand, you two being called a fairy, I don't know about that, but I'll let you guys take that up with him.
Well, I would tell you if I was gay, I definitely wouldn't mind. And if I was gay, everybody would know. It would not be mistaken.
Hope everybody's doing great. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Like the fellas mentioned, it's not a victory Tuesday, but a 21-20 loss, 21-20 loss. It could have been worse. At least we didn't have no major injuries. So that was the number one thing I was wanting from this game, was no major injuries. The second thing, it was pretty good to see, some of our young players get some time. Some of the guys, we hadn't seen them and have any playing time whatsoever yet. So it was good to actually be able to see, what these guys have. And like you said, the season's over. We're in our bye week, so it's great. I'm not sad that we lost. I did, like I had said last week, I did want to win the game because I wanted to sweep the division. I never want to lose to the Rams, so it don't matter if it even is a real preseason game. Like, I don't want to lose to people, period. Especially when it's a division rival, especially when it's the Rams, because we had been going on that, what was it, like 7 games or something, 8 games that we had beat them in the regular season. So I definitely didn't want to lose to them, but I'll take rather losing to them this past Sunday. If we have to see them again in the playoffs, I'd rather take winning that game coming up. So hopefully that's how it works out. I don't want to spend too much time on the Rams game, but kind of just give me your closing thoughts, overall thoughts, how you thought the Rams game went. And maybe any young guys, first year, second year players that we haven't really got to see, that we saw some playing time from, that you saw good things from, or that you saw bad things from.
I think it was good to finally see Robert Beal Jr. in there. I mean, I didn't notice him doing too much, but he obviously stood out on that sack that he had.
Yeah.
And I kept hearing he was a smaller, undersized guy, known for his speed as a pass rusher. I believe he's number 51, and he looked like he was the right size. Maybe they had him bulk up a little bit. He didn't look like totally undersized for a pass rusher by any stretches of the imagination. So nice to see him out there. And we saw a little bit more. We saw a lot more Darrell Luter Jr. out there. I didn't notice him doing too much, but maybe I missed something. And Taylor Hawkins had his first interception.
Yeah,
been out there. I think his
first playing time and first interception.
There you go.
I'm
Yes,
so happy for him. Yeah.
Darnold was okay in some areas at times.
I was so impressed with our linebackers. Yeah, that's what really stood out to me is our young linebackers and Hawkins, the little rookie safety. One thing I did not like, and I saw from Elijah Mitchell, and I think it was probably the most notable thing other than Jake Moody's missed kicks, was when Elijah Mitchell kind of broke in between the defensive end and the tackle, which caused the tackle, I think it was Jalen Moore, to lose his connection on the defensive end, his grip on the defensive end, and the defensive end had a free shot to get the sack on Sam Darnold. So to me, that is, with him being a starter, somebody who could be in there in the real game, I don't want him doing that shit to Trent Williams, to McKivitz. Nope. You know what I mean? Like that really is really concerning to me, that he should know better. Like, look, if you're supposed to go on a route and this guy's in the middle away, whatever, hit the guy. The guy. If you can't get out of the way, just hit the guy, because at least you can save your quarterback from this. You know what I mean? If you can't be release and get out and give him an out through the air, give him an out through your body. But that's, and are we going to talk about Moody later?
We can talk about him right now.
I'll talk about him now if you want.
Okay. So you got the hashes. Oh, let's go here, because this is, even though this is my right, everybody can see this left. Okay, why is he always lined up to kick it to right inside the left hash, when he always, if he misses it, it's always to the left? Like, what if you try and hit it down the fucking middle, so when you do shank it a little, then it goes right inside? How many times have you see it go right, far right? I have not seen it.
No.
Every single time I see him line up almost like it's gonna go straight inside the. I don't care if you think it's cool because you like the look of it or anything like that. We see where you miss. Don't be an asshole. Cock it to the side a little, homie.
I don't like the look of it.
Right?
Willy Wonka reference.
Don't be an asshole.
You know that the backwoods song with that beat? Oh, bro, I'll send you the link to that one. That's a freaking
you got it,
bro.
I got to remind you. Hey, really quick though. I don't know. I'm not a kicking expert. I'm not a kicker expert. I don't focus on kickers. I don't like the look of it. Dun, 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 dun. Whoever wrote that melody is a fucking genius.
I'm telling you, this is fucking savage shit.
I gotta hear what you're talking about, but I don't know shit about kickers. I'm not a kicker expert. Never said I was. I don't know what his coaching staff is telling him in regards to what Ryan's point was. So who knows? I don't know. But all I have to say is, as a 49er fan, I lose all the confidence in the world whenever the camera pans to his face after he fucks up. Like I wish the cameras would just spare him. Like look. This is a low hanging fruit here, guys. He's a rookie. He's a kicker. He's had a couple of fuck ups earlier this year. Leave the guy alone. Don't show his face. Show some fucking fans. Just don't show his face, please. I want to feel good as a Niner fan. I want to feel confident. Thank you.
I brought that up to TL because TL is a Michigan fan. Congrats to all the Michigan fans, by the way. Won the college championship yesterday. But I had asked him about that, and he said that he always has looked like that, like all years through college, like whether he's kicking good. I mean, he didn't have a missing problem in college, so he was very rarely looking upset. yet he always had that look on his face, TL said. So it's not just a look when he misses. The camera seems to, want to portray it that way and zoom in on him every time he misses, but that's just really the look. That's just really his look. That's how it
Yeah.
works.
Yeah, it sucks to be him, like I said.
They
Cock
asked
it to the right.
Shanahan.
Cock it to the fucking right.
They had asked Shanahan whether or not he was going to pick up a kicker to place on the practice squad or whatnot, so that we had somebody in case we needed him throughout the playoffs. And Shanahan said no.
I don't even want them asking that question.
He said he has confidence in Jake. He's not, obviously, like that would have been a fucking terrible thing to say. Yeah, we're going to get somebody and put him on the practice squad so that we have to completely take any confidence that the guy has left and throw
We
that
called
out the
Robbie
fucking
Gould
window.
up. He'll be here on Monday.
Coming out of retirement. But Shanahan said no, he pretty much had a, great season except for how he started off, which is true. He hadn't missed a point after attempt until this one. He had made every single one through the season, and he hadn't missed a field goal since after the bye. So Shanahan said, unfortunately he missed. Obviously you don't want him missing, and now is not the time to start missing. So, hopefully whatever funk he was in, it goes out the window. And, it sucks too, because he's missing at home, and it's like you worry about your kicker, especially a young guy, how he's going to kick on the road in the playoffs with the weather elements or, all this shit that you have to worry about. But it's like, well, we're going to have to worry about our young kicker at home with no elements hardly, I really, and like I saw this tweet going around, and this is a good thought. And it was, if you didn't give up on Purdy after he threw 5 interceptions, whatever it was in a game, you shouldn't be giving up on Jake Moody because he misses 2 kicks in a game.
Yep. I'm not giving up on him. I just make a little correction, little adjustment, bruh.
Well, don't you think if they thought that would solve the issue, that his coach would be telling him that?
I ain't seen them try it yet. Hey, what happens when Steve Wilkes came down from the booth? What happened when Steve Wilkes came down from the booth?
Well, that was even our coaching staff even thought he should, but our coaching staff obviously don't think Moody should be moving over, or else they would be telling him that.
No, I'm not talking about moving over. I'm talking about turning to the side a little bit. Okay, so imagine you walk straight back and then you walk 3 steps to the side, right? And that's how he lands, and that's how he kicks the ball like that. So if he cocks to the side a little bit, takes his 3 steps back from there and his 3 steps over from there, does the same kick, it should go in between the hashes on a like a angled trajectory, right? So by the time it crosses the line, it should be kind of in the middle instead of right inside of the last hash. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't even really need to change the way he kicks. You just kind of just need to change where he starts off when he sets up his little, when he does his little walk back and then walk to the side. That's all I'm saying is, and you probably got to tilt the tee a little bit. I'm not, you got that too.
I don't know. Maybe you should.
Well, if it's field goals, it's not. They don't have a tee for when it's field goals, though. They just it's like the dude just holds it. They have a holder and takes it in and he holds it. With field goals.
I don't know if I don't know. Our special teams aren't great. So why am I thinking that everything that the special team coach does is good? Like, the best thing we got going on is our punt team.
I'm thinking like he should just really know how to kick by now anyways, and he really shouldn't need a 49ers kicking coach to tell him how to do so when he had no problem kicking for fucking how many every years he was in college. So
I have no idea what's going on. It seems like a total different guy from college to the pros. Maybe not like a total different guy, but not someone that we've seen. You know what I mean? He was very consistent, and it seems like he's in a shell of himself for I don't know what reason. Did having Gonzalez in camp fuck with him? Did that mess him up?
For what? 3 games, 2 games to start the season and 1
I
game to
don't
end the
know.
season?
I don't know because like
How would that be it?
what is like other than the personal life things that can happen, like I don't know, trouble with a woman, maybe a miscarriage, something like that, real stuff, father dying, mother dying, stuff like that. What could really we haven't heard of anything like that, so why has he changed? Why is it
I
changed?
don't know, it's weird. I don't know. That was my major bad thing that I had from the Rams game, though. The number
Maybe
one
the
thing.
ball's different and he's just not good with the ball. But even in his stupid kicking thing, he was
Tryout.
kicking his tryout, he was kicking great and he had shitty snapper and holder.
Yeah, and they were trying to make it bad for him.
So what is going on when he's getting all this clean shit?
They need to do that
like,
again. They need to do that again. They need to go back to that.
Like, look, I'm okay with him missing long ones here and there. You know what I mean? Like, long ones aren't given. It's a real talent. And to really hold somebody accountable for missing a long one, they have to be making those consistently for you to feel entitled enough to be mad at them for missing a long one. Right.
Yeah.
But missing like that PAT like that, I'm not saying that that's because that can happen out of the middle of nowhere to anybody. Okay. But when you do that right after the field goal, which was really makeable, and at the last second just went, you know what I'm saying? Like, what happened? Is there really a gust of wind in there like that? I don't know.
Strange. Definitely strange. But hopefully he gets his shit together. And like let me find who said it real quick. Like 49ers Drive said, solution to the Moody problem, just score touchdowns.
Hallelujah. And we've been pretty good at that throughout the season. We haven't had to rely on field goals.
I can't remember who I was listening to, but they were saying, hey, Moody being kind of not a given kind of made Kyle have to go for it on 4th down more than he normally would have. And it paid off this year. It paid off dividends this year.
Kyle.
Right? So who knows? Maybe having a shitty field goal kick or a non-consistent. Sorry, I really shouldn't say shitty.
I have to be diplomatic.
Well, no, it's because it's not true.
Yeah,
I don't think it's true. I was talking too quick and really didn't think about it. But maybe what we need is a quarterback that Kyle doesn't, or a kicker that Kyle doesn't have confidence in, to actually really make him utilize this offense a little bit more and actually push these guys. You know what I mean? He's got all these leaders on the team who can put the team on their shoulders. So why not just let him get another try at it? You can't hold these guys down for long. At some point, they're going to break through. So if you give them enough shots, aka 4th down, 4th and short, they got a chance to make it.
Yeah. What's up, DJ Malone says, what did y'all think of Darnold?
I
am very happy that we have Purdy. I'll start with that. Second of all, I don't think that he's terrible. I don't think he's great. I just don't want him to be my starting quarterback. That's for damn sure. As a backup quarterback, he's fine. I don't think we'll have to worry about that going forward, though, because I'm sure some other team is going to pay him more than the 49ers will pay him next season. But to me, I'm fine as well with drafting a guy this season to be the backup quarterback moving forward. I am fine with finding another vet around the league to be the backup quarterback. Like, I don't think Sam Darnold brings anything extra to this team to send us on to winning the Super Bowl with the healthy Purdy on the team. I think it's hilarious for those people that thought he should have been the starter going into the season. All those, team Sam Darnold people.
Holy
And
shit.
still, the people that
It
when
exists.
that 3-game losing streak, there was people out there saying that Purdy should get benched and Darnold should be the starter. So I'm really happy for those people that they got to see their
They
king,
got to see it.
Sam Darnold in action, and can maybe shut the hell up from now on. But other than that, I mean, he was fine. Like he was Sam Darnold. Like these people that thought he was going to come here and all of a sudden turn into something that he hasn't been this time that he's been in the NFL, that Shanahan was magically going to turn him into a prince from a pumpkin. I'm here to tell you that didn't happen.
Well,
How'd you
now,
guys feel?
so I thought for Sam Darnold coming out in a system, he did great. We've got a
Great.
intricate system for him to run. Yes, for Sam Darnold, I think out of what Sam Darnold is known of doing, Sam Darnold had a great Sam Darnold game, right? He didn't fuck up at all. How many interceptions did he throw? Not a single one. And his fumble
No, but he fumbled.
He fumbled when he was trying to make something in a play in the last couple seconds, which is not a situation he should be put in because he doesn't make good decisions anyways. Right. But up until that point, I thought he did great for Sam Darnold. I wanted to be able to shit all over Sam Darnold. I can't. I'm not saying I necessarily want him as my backup here next year, but I'm not going to be mad at him if he can play games like that with our backups. I'll be okay with it. You know what I mean? Look at what he did with our number ones in the first series and a half. He put up touchdowns. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I don't think he's amazing. I do think we should draft. If you really want to be crazy, maybe you look at Carson Wentz, but I think that's a little too much. But if you really want a guy in your stable who you could, really win something with when or if your quarterback goes down, plus then he wouldn't be on another team to can kill us. So, but I'm okay with Sam Darnold. And until he shows me different, which I don't think we'll see, hopefully, this year.
Yeah, all I have to say is one thing.
What up, baller?
Did you guys hear that? I said Sam. Yo. You got your voices?
In the house. Ryan started putting some clapping on when we were
Straight Out the Bay podcast.
He was making it clap.
Yeah, he's like completely ignoring everything that you're saying to talk over you. So
I know. So, anyways, so in the beginning, like I was like, Sam Darnold
this
knows
isn't
how
the
to run.
Ryan podcast.
It is too.
Okay, I want to talk about Darnold here, guys. Calm down. All right. So I was like, oh wow, look at Darnold. And not like I was really excited, but I was like, you know what? He looks like he has a command of this offense. Looks like he knows how to run Kyle's offense the way it needs to be ran. It's looking nice and smooth, right? Nothing spectacular, but we saw him throw the ball out to where the receivers needed to be. And he got I'm totally stumbling on the guy's name right now. The rookie number 10 wide receiver.
Ronnie Bell
had a nice little touchdown. And it was a nice throw too. It was a short little throw, but with some nice accuracy, kind of like a dart sort of. And lo and behold, when the game mattered, we definitely saw a Sam Darnold Jets moment. It came, with that fumble. Now what sucks is for Darnold is that his numbers would have looked a lot better, and we possibly could have won the game. Had I forgot I think it was the third or fourth quarter, definitely the second half. The one it was like a throw a deeper throw to the left side of the field for Ray, and then Ray kind of caught it, but then got stuck and the ball just popped out. And then another similar moment later in the game in the fourth quarter to Conley on the right side of the field. Like I really thought those receivers should have
screaming like, "You gotta be fucking kidding me! You're doing it too!"
Yeah, those guys should have both those. Now earlier in the game, Conley did get a nice one from Darnold though. It was on the left side of the field, which was pretty cool. But I just imagine what Darnold's numbers is, and what they would have said about him after the game, and in terms of that would have led us to a victory, assuming we completed those passes. And obviously, go ahead.
Did he look confident in that game to you at all? Was there a point in time where you're like, "Oh, he feels he's got this, mom"?
I mean, if he looked confident, it definitely wasn't as clairvoyant as what we see from Brock Purdy when he's confident. Yeah, and maybe a little bit here, a smidgen. Maybe I felt it. I don't know.
Imagine if you saw that coming from him. I wonder how his play would look like, because I don't think after watching the game, I don't think he really has the system down 100% to where he's confident with every little thing. But a couple of throws, he's trusting guys, and he obviously knows where some of the windows are, and he was making some of those throws, or at least tempting them in smaller windows, which is one of the reasons why when I saw him make some of those throws, I was like, that's why they like him, because he's not scared to throw those, and they just want to work on him to show him when he can throw those. You know what I mean? And that's why I said I don't think he did such a bad job. He wasn't like a winner, but like as a backup quarterback, what more could you ask for the guy? And I know he fumbled in the last couple seconds, but I don't see him going down in a drive and winning that game anyways. But you know what I'm saying, fumble or not.
I know. So I was really hoping to get our kicker a shot, just to see what he could see if he could make a game winner.
That would have been great. That would have been great to get Moody in there and see if he's got it after missing those two, if he can pull his ass through and handle man up. Yeah, that would have been great. I'd take everything back. Well, I take the part back about the fumble.
Got it. So Darnold, I mean, went 16 for 26, 189 yards, 1 TD, and he ran one in as well. So he was all right. It's just that
189 yards and a loss is definitely not a performance.
Yeah, it's not impressive.
Great.
Yeah.
But
and for the record, Carson went 17 for 24,
163. Sam Darnold game.
No, you just said he played great.
For Sam Darnold, yes.
Okay, really, really quick about Carson Wentz. 17 for 24, 163, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And he ran one as well. He always just finds a way to out-edge the Niners every time he plays us. I can't stand Carson Wentz.
He got hit,
though. He always beats us, I swear.
Flanagan pulls straight. They both come around. It was like a design run, and Flanagan sees it. He knows the hole already, meets him right in the hole, and back 2 yards.
Yeah, Carson Wentz runs way more than I remember. Yeah. I was like, he runs a lot. Kind of like Josh Allen in that regard.
Yeah, he does run a lot. All right, so let's get off of this Rams shit. Before we get into, I have some stuff to talk about looking back on the season, but before we talk about that, I do want to talk about Steve Wilks. The Chargers have reached out to interview Steve Wilks for their head coaching job. I want to get you guys' thoughts on how you feel about that. If he were to get, and I'm sure this isn't going to be the first interview. I'm sure there's probably 1 or 2 more coming. Who knows? Because there's going to be quite a few. A lot of teams had started their firing already. So there's going to be quite a few teams looking for a head coach. So how you guys feel about him already, our DC already interviewing for head coaching jobs after only us having to just find a guy, 1 year ago? If he were to get a head coaching job, is there anybody that you have thought of, looked at, heard of to take his place? Because I'm not sure that we have anybody currently on the 49ers. Just a year ago, there wasn't anybody on the 49ers that wanted to, move up. So I don't know, a lot of things can change in a year, but I don't know about that. And my thoughts on it, I'm so sick of having to go through this shit. Not only having to look for a new DC, like all the fucking time, it feels like. But we saw the Eagles this year, their team looked a lot different because, they kept their head coach last year, but they lost their DC and their offensive coordinator as well. And it's like, how many times, and we see, you know, what their team looked like. Like their team sucked on friggin' offense, and their defense was like half of what it was the year prior. How many times can you lose a specific coach, you know, in this coaching cycle, right? So in the Shanahan era, like how many times can you lose a defensive coordinator to either where you don't find one that's good enough to be able to replace them, like you run out of people, you know, like does it eventually start taking a toll on your team? Like how many times like we just keep getting lucky that we've had somebody to replace Sala, that we had somebody to replace D'Amico. Like how many times are we going to keep getting lucky that we're finding a man that can come in and still have such, you know, such a great job in that spot? And then the other thing that like kind of freaking aggravates me on this thing is because it's like we're going, you know, supposedly trying to go to the Super Bowl, right? Like a deep run into the playoffs. And again, we have to worry about our freaking coaches interviewing for other jobs in the middle of a fucking playoff run. You know, it's like this isn't just like some simple little 5, 10, 15-minute fucking interview like normal fucking people go on at Domino's, right? Like these guys put in a lot of prep. Like a lot of fucking preparation goes into those interviews that they have to do for a head coaching job, especially. Like, you know, he ain't interviewing for a DC, a position coach, for a head coaching job. So now, you know, your time and everything that you're putting into that isn't going to what you should be dedicating all your time on. And that's a fucking playoffs. That's the freaking Super Bowl. You know, like they really, I wish the NFL would change it to where like you can't interview until after the season. So after not just the regular season, after that team's season is done. So whether that goes an extra week, extra 2 weeks, extra 3 weeks, all the way to the fucking Super Bowl, you should have to wait until that's done. Because that's what you're supposed, you know, like that's Wilks' job right now is winning a Super Bowl for the 49ers. So why are you allowing him to go look for his next suitor, you know, during a Super Bowl run for your freaking team? Like, I don't know. Like, that's just my opinion on it. I know other people, they could give a shit less. Other people think it's no big deal. That's your fucking thoughts. This is my thoughts. Thanks. So that's how I feel about it. How are you guys feeling?
Me personally, I'm conflicted because everything you addressed about all the headaches and stuff like that, and also who are we gonna pick, right? All that. But I want to see the landscape of the NFL change so much that I'm all for it. I was happy that D'Amico got a job. You've been holding people
don't
back.
Don't get me wrong. I'm all for getting promotions, and I wasn't saying not one single thing about that. And get your promotion after the fucking season ends.
That's where I'm torn. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm torn. I'm torn being selfish and wanting to see a fucking change. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously. So that's where I'm at. But I think we can promote from within. Steve Wilks talks about it's Daniel Bullock's.
Yeah.
And also we've got what's his name? Where is it? He's the linebackers coach. Why am I missing on it? He's got like Johnny Holland. So why not promote within? They already know the system. They've seen what works from underneath. They've seen what. Well, they didn't want them a year ago. Maybe things have changed. Maybe Steve Wilks has found somebody he thinks would be a great person to train up. Who knows if it's already being worked on. I think Steve Wilks signed for you 2 years, right? So for teams to ask him to interview, the 49ers would obviously be cool with him. Well, not asking to interview, but letting him interview. The 49ers would obviously be showing that they're cool with maybe potentially losing him to another team, which would to me would mean that you have something waiting in the wings, because without already securing a Super Bowl, why would you want to reset when you believe you might have another year in the window to compete for it? Why would you want to mix everything up, try some new sauce when, you know what I mean? It's been working, you got it working right now. So I don't know. It
I don't
Bashar?
know either. Bashar's sleeping.
I was
I hope
waiting
he
for
gets I hope he gets a head coaching job. I think he got a raw deal the last time. But does it have to be right now? If
It
I
just
was
seems
him, I'd
like
want to stay 2 years.
seems like we're the worst team in the NFL when it comes to retaining our defensive coordinator. I don't know if there's any other team that has to go through what we go through on a regular basis. I mean, Mike Vrabel just
Feel
got
lucky
fired
every time, too.
recently. Mike Vrabel just got fired recently. Ron Rivera got fired. I don't know if these guys would even take a 49er DC coaching position. And if they did, they'll be waiting in the wings for the next head coaching position because the team will be successful and they'll say, hey, oh, well, we want to hire you, make you our head coach. So it's like almost like a waste. It's always like you got to bring up some unknown guy that nobody's ever heard of to possibly become a DC for us and just pray and hope that they do well. Like I love like a guy like Chris Kosarika as a D-line coach, for example. And I think he has a really extreme like top-notch loyalty, but just based on that, since he's been with the team for so long, I'm like, oh, is he even fit to be a DC? So I don't know if this guy's even fit to be a DC or not. He probably
He hasn't
isn't.
wanted it. He's
Yeah,
talked
I don't
about
think
not wanting to be a
yeah,
DC.
okay. So some people are just stuck in their niche, and he's one of those guys. Actually, we appreciate him for it because he loves coaching D-line and he's passionate about it and he's good at it, what he does. And so I used to get your rant on. What up, 49er, dude? I don't know if there's anything worth ranting on today. My last 2 times on YouTube on Saturday and Friday, I had a couple of rants, but yeah, the whole DC thing, it's annoying, it's lame, it's just it's so tiresome. It's like I thought Wilkes would be at least a 2-year guy, at least, and it's I don't think he's I don't know, man. I don't think our defense is that great with him. We've had better defenses without him, is what I'm saying. So I don't know if other teams feel like he's a candidate, they're gonna go talk to him. Go right ahead, I guess, and maybe we could possibly get somebody better. I don't know who. I have no idea who. I'm clueless.
Well,
and of course, this isn't saying that he actually gets hired, right? Like we know, unfortunately, that the NFL, they have to hire. I mean, they have to interview a minority coach. So unfortunately, even if say the Chargers, like I think Harbaugh is going to go to the Chargers. But even if the Chargers already had their plan of who they're going to hire, they have to interview a black coach. And, we've seen so many times Bieniemy that he would just get interviewed because he was the only black coach that was available for them to interview for the head coaching jobs. Like so many, and teams would come out and be like, oh, we already knew we were going to hire this guy. So like you're telling pretty much that, oh, I'm just doing this for the Rooney rule and, that I have to interview somebody. And it's very unfortunate that fucking happens. But, like, so there's that. And then, there's still other, like he's going up against a bunch of other people as well. So it's not like he's guaranteed to get any job. So, we may still have him another year, another 2 years. We see in, even D'Amico, he had interviewed, or no, he declined interviews the year before. I think he did interview with somebody, but even Mike McDaniels, like the same thing. Saleh interviewed for a couple years before he got a head coaching job. So it's not like they just interview and get hired right off the gate,
D'Amico interviewed and declined the second interview. And from what I hear, people are talking about like he wanted the Houston job. So I think he was just going there to kind of check a box, and then he waited for his time and went to Houston. Bashar, one thing I wanted to say, you were saying that the Niners defense necessarily didn't even look all that great this year at times and whatnot. And you don't know necessarily what the big draw was. I did think that after you said that he did come in to somebody else's system and ran it without doing all this other stuff. So that might be attractive to some teams that might want to keep a certain like a defensive scheme or something around and they're like, oh well, he could adapt like he did here, and obviously he was a part of a winning team and knows how to do that. Maybe you thought he got a raw deal the first time, you know what I mean? So there could be something like that that's actually a plus to them, appealing, what
Yeah,
he
because
did
a
this
lot
year.
of people, like with Fangio, for example, like didn't, and I was one, didn't want him because, he has a specific scheme, of specific
He's a
front that
3-4
he
guy.
runs, right?
Yep.
And so, hiring Fangio, that's what he's going to do. You're not going to get him to come in and run our freaking scheme. So, you're right. A lot of teams could say, well, we know Wilkes, yeah, he normally runs this scheme, but look, we've seen him with the 49ers go in and be able to adapt and be able to do what they needed him to do, and kept the 49ers defense at the top of the league. Like Donald said, Wilkes was ranked the number 2 defensive coordinator in the league. So, I think he's done plenty enough to warrant him getting a head coaching job. I think, he should have got the head coaching job in Carolina. They should have never let him go. They're idiots for fucking letting him go. And now you see, like, teams are so stupid, I swear. Like, that's why your team is continuously shit after shit after shit after shit, because you do stupid shit like that.
Shit after shit.
I'm glad I'm not a fan of them. Let's just say that.
Is it okay if we talk about Adam Peters right now?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, cool,
yes.
cool. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I made a tiny little short video about it, and I was like, grab my phone at one point in the day, like, whoa, damn, they're already giving permission for people to interview Adam Peters, the Commanders, Las Vegas Raiders. I'm like, what? Like, I thought we were just supposed to promote him, to GM and call it a day. And we did promote John Lynch to that football operations position, right? So, and Adam Peters was already the assistant GM, so I just thought it was just going to be easy switch. And now it's like, well, teams are already jumping down our throats to try to get our guys now. Poach a coach or poach a manager or front office guy too at that. And it's like, geez, I do not want to lose
Poach a
Adam
Peters.
Peters. I'm like greedy about this shit, like I finally wanted to see Adam Peters run a draft from top to bottom, because this year we actually have an abundance of picks and it's spread all throughout the draft. Not that BS where it's, oh yeah, we have over 8 picks and it's like the first pick that we have starts
Rounds
in the 5th round.
3 through
no.
7.
We actually have a real first rounder, second rounder, third rounder, all that. Like, I want to see what Peters can do with those picks.
And if Kyle could just sit in the corner and shut the fuck up, not say anything, and put his finger on the scale at all, and just let Adam Peters work. I want to see what one draft class with just Adam Peters doing what he thinks and the rest of the team thinks is good, without Kyle getting in the middle of some shit.
Yeah,
Look, he's got to get the players that he wants, and I get that. They know his type. Shut up, Kyle. Let them do their homework. They know what you're looking for. They've found it over and over and over and over again. They found types that you didn't know you wanted. Let's just let them do their work. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, as much as I want another running back on this team, I just want one more speedy, fast guy, like Devon A. Chain from Miami.
Well, don't draft him in the third.
Just don't do the third round thing. And who knows? We might end up drafting Frank Gore's son or Jay Rice's son. We'll see. To see how that works. But, yeah. But so I posted about it on my 49 Facebook group, and some guy responded like he was so stupid, man. He just blew up and got all pissed that I was like, 49ers should do what they can in their power to retain him. It's like. And the guy was like saying something. He said, this is another stupid post. Lynch is doing just fine and has good leadership and ability and chemistry with Shanny, ! I never said fire John Lynch. Like, it just goes to show how some people don't follow the team. It's like Lynch already had the promotion for head of football operations. So it doesn't mean Lynch is going anywhere. Lynch can stick around and we can still have Adam Peters as our GM. Yeah. And people do not know how responsible Adam Peters was and instrumental he was in drafting our lower round picks that turned out to be gems, And that is that.
That's why I want him more in charge of the first 3 rounds, first 4 rounds.
Yeah, that'd be
John Lynch
nice
is still around to make deals with other teams and be the stalwart, of the franchise.
You can have the final say or whatever, and
he doesn't even need the final say on some things.
You don't even have the final say now.
But he's great to talk to the players. You know what I mean? As far as handling business with the players, like that's the guy you want to talk to them. He's straight up with them. He treats them man-to-man type shit. You know what I mean? Player-to-player type shit. I'm going to treat you like I wanted to be treated. I want how I wanted all my friends as players to be treated throughout the years. You know, maybe I can't do everything that, you know, was best for you, but you know, this is a business, but at least every way I can, I'm going to give it a personal feeling to it. You know what I mean? Make you not feel like a number. It's when he was talking about how nice to see all the young guys and the rookies are and how important they are. I don't remember what interview it was, but you can tell he cares about everybody on this team. And that's just nothing but good stuff to keep around. And promoting him and giving a spot for Adam Peters is just the smartest thing to do. If the 49ers lost Adam Peters, I think it might be one of the biggest mistakes they've made in this. I think it's worse. I think it's worse than the 3 first-round draft picks for Trey Lance just squandered essentially.
It could be potentially worse, and that's scary.
I would, yeah. And you'll see when if our talent just dries up immediately as far as our rookies coming in, right?
And then we'll see how much Brock Purdy really sucks because everybody keeps saying that it's just the weapons. It's just the weapons. He's not good. He's not good.
Well, within 2 years, we would see what happened. You know what I mean? We would see the effects of it. Unless you got somebody who was just as talented. Because you don't just stumble across all these talented players that we have drafted.
The dog is barking.
49er dude says, as long as Parag doesn't leave, anyway, Parag is the MVP of this franchise, period.
You got us.
I know a lot of people have mixed feelings on Parag. Some people love him, some hate him.
He's great. I think he's really good.
I think he gets the job done. So,
what's
up, Shell?
What about Jet? Yeah, I think Parag's just one of the really, really nice GMs. He draws up contracts. Usually drops them up pretty quick. Every now and then there's a little stall in the contract. I think Bosa, but yeah. For the most part, Parag does a really, really good job of helping us with the salary cap. Shout out to him, and we'll see what we can do in the future with our front office and our squad and our players and our coaches. Oh, so really quick, so put Bebop up again. I want to say something about Bebop.
Oh, let me see.
That would have Bebop Jones. He said Peters grew up in the Bay Area. Hopefully he stays. Yeah, and he was also a legit Niner fan growing up. And shout out to Bebop Jones, who made his debut on the Coffee Talk with Brian Culp and David McNiner. He did a really, really good job. Good job.
One of us. Good job, Bebop Baroni. All right.
Bebop Pepperoni.
Anything else to say about Adam Peters or Steve Wilkes, or we can move on?
We got Red Jet Shell in chat.
Yep, we said hi to her already when you were
my
off
bad.
doing whatever.
I had to pet the dog. I had to pet the dog. He was all upset for something. Now he's cool.
You gotta pet the dog.
Yeah.
So
roommate's dog is awesome.
We already have been here a long time and have only got 2 subjects on the whole plan completed. So, looking back on the season, you know, as we talked about, obviously the season's over. A lot of players are planning their vacations already. I was listening to the podcast, Fred Warner and his wife, before I was getting ready. And they were talking about how, had they, you know, obviously not been in the playoffs right now, like they'd be planning to be leaving on their first vacation of their, you know, summer already. So I just thought, you know, we should take some time to look back on the season and go over some things. And that is first thing, some players, and obviously with this being the Bring the Heat podcast, some players that were on fire this season. So kind of just looking over the season, some players that, you know, stand out in your mind that did some great things for the 49ers to get us to this point that we're in. We're able to have a first week bye and have no game to talk about this week.
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. So just want to know which players brought the heat this season, and
Yep.
I'm gonna mention people that the ones that people normally don't expect. I'd say they're gonna be the cornerbacks. Shout out to my guys. Oh, I
Yes.
did. Well, I'm leaving one out, so you can take the other one if you want. But I'm gonna go for Diamador Lenore from Oregon and Ambry Thomas from Michigan. Those guys got scrutinized big time as rookies.
Thought you were leaving
And
me Ambry.
I did. I got another. You got
You
the best
took
one.
him. You took him.
You left
You mentioned him.
Tarvarius.
I gave you Mooney. Oh my gosh. Anyways, they've been scrutinized a lot for having bad rookie seasons and bad second seasons, and we took Oliver out of the lineup. He was just pissing off, a lot of people and fans, players, or the team or whatever, coaches, you name it. And
Yeah.
we threw in Debo in there as a nickel. We put Ambry as an outside guy, and both of them have looked really, really nice. Now they're not perfect, but for the most part, they've been doing a great job. So shout out to those guys. I mean, a lot of fans wanted us to go for the bigger names. Oh, trade for Patrick Surtain, Patrick Surtain Jr. or just go after this guy, go after that guy, or draft this guy, draft that guy, and we stuck with the guys that we already had, and it's proven to work. So I'm feeling good about going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Ambry Thomas, baby. Did not expect anything that he did this year from him at all. He was very consistent. He wasn't perfect, but he was very consistent. He wasn't going to give up multiples. He did a very good job. I was so happy to have him this year. We would not have the number 1 seed without him playing his best ball ever. So, and I talked a lot of shit, so I want to thank him. Also, Kinlaw. Talked a lot of shit about Kinlaw. I'm not going to say he was playing on fire, but he put his best work out on tape this year, and I appreciate that, and I want to say that. Greenlaw. Want another shot to Greenlaw. Everybody started talking about how he hits different this year. I don't know if that is something that just started this year, but I have noticed that when he's in on the tackle, it sounds differently. And I also noticed that when we played the Eagles, the Eagles, Jalen Hurts wasn't trying to run the ball until Greenlaw got kicked out of the game. Also, Kyler Murray was running down the field, could have got a couple extra yards, but he looks to his right and he sees Dre Greenlaw and he just puts his ass to the ground. So Dre Greenlaw.
I would too. Shit.
Right? But you know what I'm saying? I just want to give a shout out to Dre Greenlaw. Woo! Woo! What's that one freaking show where you'd go into cardiac arrest and that was like some cool place where you get some visions and then they bring you back? I can't remember what that was.
I don't know.
What's the name of that? But that's all I can see. Kyler, just he's on the football field and boom, he's in that alternate world and he's like, yeah, this is cool. This is cool. Then back up and he's in the hospital and monitored. What happened? I was having a great time. Yeah, you forgot who you were for about a month and a half, bro.
I'm going to go up to, obviously, since you didn't throw him out there, I'm going to go with the corners, add in Charvarius. I think the entire cornerback squad, all 3 of them, they did a great job. Yes. We saw them be able to lock up, number 1, number 2 wide receivers, teams that had great 1 and 2 wide receivers. And like you said, if not for Diamador Lenore being able to play so well, both outside and in the slot, like we would have really been screwed this season. But the fact that he was able to just move into the slot like it was no thing at all and be able to play great, like he took over that spot seamlessly. And then obviously, like you talked about, for Ambry to be able to step in, which wouldn't even been possible for Diamador Lenore to move to the slot had Ambry not been able to put on his big boy pants and say, all right, you guys need me. I'm ready to step up and be an outside corner. What you guys drafted me for. And he's done that. And he's done it. Like you said, it hasn't always been perfect. But he's played well enough for us to win and hasn't been the reason that we've lost. And When you're dealing with corners, that's all you can ask for, because they're not going to be able to stop wide receivers every single play.
Very
You're
true.
not going to be locking down every wide receiver on the team for 0-0, like they're going to get catches. They're going to get yards.
You got to pay a lot of money for that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got
And
to pay a
the
lot of
biggest
money for
thing,
that guy.
like we've seen corners come to this team before and give up a big catch, and then all of a sudden they're in their head and have a shitty rest of the game, and then it turns into a shitty next game, and then it turns into a shitty next game, and then it turns into a shitty season. And yeah, and not just him. We see it happen with corners through the league all the time. It's one of the that and quarterback. You need to have a fat. Your memory needs to just be fast. You need to be able to forget your bad plays and move on to the next play. And we've seen them that squad has been so confident this season. And I love that. There's not, besides the quarterback, there's not another confident squad that I want more, another squad that I want so confident. That's the cornerbacks. And like you see it start with Charvarius Ward, and it's kind of just spilled over to the young guys, and they're kind of filling up their cup with that. And you're seeing now Diamador Lenore start playing with that, confidence, and nobody can beat him. And he's out there shit talking, and, he's hitting them a little bit harder, and he's wanting to get in the wide receiver's head. And then you're seeing that then his cup overflowing into Ambry, and it's just kind of a trickle down effect. And it's been great. And, shout out to Steve Wilkes, because when he came, the biggest thing going into this season that I wanted was for that secondary to step their fucking game up. Up until this point, we've had DCs that specialized in the linebacker room, that specialized in this, that specialized in that, never the secondary. And finally, we got a DC that specializes in the secondary. And I think you've seen the results in, you talked about earlier, you didn't see a big difference, in this defense, Steve Wilkes taking over. This is your difference. The fact that he was able to come over and take over a defense and not get a drop off from the linebackers. The defensive line has been, who knows, but we've got to see this secondary, they raised their game, and shout out to Steve Wilkes for helping with that. So kind of, and obviously we're in the playoffs. We got a first round bye. You could give flowers to, 85% of this team probably. Obviously, I have other shows this week. So, I'm going to be doing other things this week. I'm not going to go through every 85% of the players, but, shout out to the entire squad, because, man, starting this season, we're just hoping that we're going to get into playoffs and hoping that we're going to get to the Super Bowl, right? Like you're always hoping for a first round bye, but you're never knowing if that's going to happen. So the fact that we got here, we're sitting in this position now, hats off to them all. Another thing, looking back on the season, and that is special moments or favorite plays that you can remember, looking back on this season.
Favorite play, one that stands out is, well, I'll say two of them. First one that stands out is probably the one against the Jags. It was Brock Purdy throwing to George Kittle on the right sideline. And I liked it because it was like, people for the longest time say Brock Purdy has a weak arm. He has no arm strength, noodle arm, blah, 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 blah. And he's got somebody, on that play. It's kind of almost like going backwards. And he's got some D linemen like jumping like right in his face. And he somehow found a way to thread the needle to Kittle. Kittle caught it, boom, and ran up the sideline. He was gone. And that was nice. And then he threw one even further against Tampa Bay. It was Brandon Ayuk against Jamel Dean of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then that one was awesome because that was just a nice, clean, pretty, no pun intended, throw by Purdy. He threw about 35 air yards in the air, and, Ayuk came down with it and ran the rest of the way. And it was nice because Jamel Dean jumped up really, really high for it, and then he landed completely on his back. When it happened, it was just funny, and the crowd roared when it happened. Everyone crazy. That was the game that Purdy had where he pretty much had a perfect passer rating against Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, yeah, those were two plays that really, really stuck out in my head because I'm not used to seeing those passes down the right sidelines as a 49er fan in these years since Jeff Garcia hasn't been the quarterback.
Yeah.
that pass to Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield, I believe it was in the Tampa game where he split the A gap and he went in motion to the outside to cause the linebacker to go in motion with him because it was man. And then the 2 or 3 receivers on the left side of it'd be the left side, right? Anyway, so they came across pretty much the linebacker couldn't get deep enough to get a great angle to meet him at the line. And it was just like math. It was just that's when I knew Kyle was really in his bag. I was like, oh shit. Like, if you can come up with a couple of those every game, we win. You know what I mean? That's when I realized Kyle got people dead to rights sometimes. But there's like, when it comes down to football, I love running the ball. And I don't know which play it is because there's multiple. It's this year, all those 20, 30-yard runs off to the left side that with Christian McCaffrey or Debo that, either went for a touchdown or just short of a touchdown with everybody like Juwan Jennings and Brandon Ayuk or Ray McLeod blocking downfield. Those are some of my favorite moments ever in football. Just the teamwork. My dad used to get drunk in the evening, and at some points you could tell he was really feeling himself because he would turn on Top Gun and he would play just the beginning part over and over and over with the airplanes going up and down and them gassing them sending, and he was like, yeah, this teamwork. So me and my
teamwork.
right, so me and my phase, I don't get drunk every night and do that, but I think that it's that's the stuff to me that gets me going, because that's teamwork and you can see it all, everybody working in motion. So that's my favorite. So yeah,
Wonderful.
That's teamwork. You see that? That's teamwork. Chicken rain ears.
My first play I gotta go with has to be that the long touchdown to Ayuk, the longest touchdown of his career against Tampa Bay. It was I don't know if it ended the season being, but at that point it was the longest touchdown of the season. So to be able to see, our guy had been begging for the deep ball for so many years now, and us finally having a quarterback that can connect, and just seeing him like throw a fucking bomb that was just a fucking dart right to Ayuk, and Ayuk, getting the touchdown. It was just such a great fucking moment for me as an Ayuk fan, as a 49ers fan. Just like, oh, finally. Like, and I tell you guys all the time, like, it always reminds me to go back to that meme that's like, I used to pray for times like this, like exactly this. Like seeing Ayuk finally get those touchdowns, finally getting used as the wide receiver that I knew he could be since he was freaking drafted.
Not just a clear out route.
Man, exactly. Not just out there freaking running for his health.
It was actually the second longest this year.
Okay.
The Bills ended up topping them later in the season with the 81-yarder from Josh Allen to Khalil Shakir. But 76 yards is very impressive. You never see that happen in the 49er uniform in this day and age.
Exactly. Another one, and it's kind of, not like a play, but the first game against the Steelers, that to go in there to Pittsburgh, the first game of the season, going into that game, all I heard was, oh, the 49ers aren't going to be, there's so much talk about the 49ers. They're not going to be shit. Brock Purdy, he's this, he's that, his arm's falling off. They're going into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's defense is a different animal. They haven't, to start off the season, and you have to go into Pittsburgh, blah, blah, blah. And they all thought Kenny Two Gloves was going to be like the next best thing at quarterback in Pittsburgh. So for the 49ers to go into Pittsburgh and start the season with all that shit, coming down on them, obviously all of us had questions. We didn't know how Brock Purdy was going to be coming out of his surgery. The whole Trey Lance situation, it was just a lot in the offseason. So to start the season off and knowing how this team had started off so many seasons, like all of us just wanted us to come into the season and start off strong. Like, please don't come in and, making us lose all these games to start the season. And the 49ers went in there and took care of business. They started the season off strong. Rattled off 5 wins in a row after that. And, it was a nice, like, I just thought it was a nice way to start off the season. And like, obviously a lot's changed from week 1 till, now going into the playoffs. But like, I knew from then that this team was going to be dominant through the season. Like, you could just tell, like, okay, these boys showed up ready to play this season. Like, we're going, like, we're going far this year. So it was just a good feeling, good way to start the season. How about some players that their fire is going out? So maybe some players that maybe didn't live up to the hype that, they should have had this season, or maybe not even, it doesn't have to be hype. Some players that just didn't do shit this season that, you don't think maybe they're on this roster next season. Maybe they aren't, like maybe they played themselves into another team, some guys that, their flame is sizzling.
I got one. He goes by the name of Spencer Burford. That they hyped him up a lot in the offseason. He's gotten in much better shape, and he's even stronger now. He looks more muscular, and he's just as quick as he was the year before, and all this. And then we were like, oh wow, cool. This is gonna be interesting to see Spencer Burford advance from his rookie season. And I don't know, there were times when Burford was out there and he'd commit penalties or he'd get beaten. Not that I thought he was completely terrible when he was out there. It's just that I was expecting an improvement from the year before. And the kicker was that Feliciano stepped in at times and looked better than him. So yeah, Burford's definitely my guy.
That's a good one.
What up, Aaron?
Hey, Aaron. Also, what's up, Beto?
Yeah, what up, Beto? What up, Aaron? Sorry, Don, to hear about your friend. That's horrible.
Prayers out to your friend.
Prayers up.
Also, let everybody know, Steven, he goes by Don't Bother Me in the chats. He lost his father. So please also think about him too. Seems like some things are going around and people need some love. So please
always
be thinking about him.
Definitely. Send out your prayers. Well.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, Ryan, go.
Burford was really mine. I can't, other than like,
I'm sorry for stealing yours, Aaron.
No, you're good. No, well,
Ryan.
Yeah, and calling you the wrong name. Stealing your people,
but
calling
Oliver,
you different names.
Obviously, Oliver isn't the guy who was promised to us. Not that his fire was going, but and also I do want to say I thought Charvarius Ward's fire was going out in the beginning of the season.
I thought so too.
Yeah.
And the moment I started saying something, he turned it around and made me look like a dumbass. So, but
he threw gasoline on that bitch.
Oh shit! So, but okay, I'm okay with that because I'm sitting here.
Yep.
We're reaping the benefits. So whatever. I'll be wrong.
We're reaping
for us.
I agree.
I agree too.
And I agree with Red Jet Shells. He says, love to all content creators. Truly appreciate all the hard work, time, and attention you all put into this awesome craft. And yeah, it is a lot of hard work. A lot of people think it's just so easy. We just get to sit behind, let me sit down and do a show, go sit behind the mic and talk about shit. Like, you don't have to put any time and you don't have to put any work into it or nothing. Mine, I have a couple. The first two is going to be like a combo because they are both from the same draft, both two players that it's coming into that third year. So, we know the 49ers, we've seen them do it with, a running back very recently. It's going to be Danny Gray and TDP. I know Danny Gray got hurt, whatever. The first year, he didn't do shit, and we can use whatever excuses we want. Now, the second year, he got hurt. I was thinking this last game against the Rams, we were actually, because they said they were opening his practice window. He's been practicing in full the last 2 weeks, and yet still comes down to game time. No, he's not playing. So I thought this week against the Rams, when the young guys got some burn, that we'd actually get to see, Darnold be able to take advantage of some Danny Gray action. Nope. Before the game, nope, not active. So we saw, obviously, with TDP, he got cut. Now he got put to the practice squad. We're seeing other practice squad running backs get elevated now for the games, and TDP is just there, lost on the practice squad. So very, very strange situation. I really hope that we get to see Danny Gray next season, because I actually think that Purdy has an arm, unlike Garoppolo, where, yeah, it may not be the strongest. He's not going to be out there Josh Allen throwing it 160 yards, but guess what? We don't need him to. So I think his arm is strong enough to be able to take advantage of Danny Gray. And plus, Danny Gray, we were promised that he wasn't just this guy that can go out there and run fast. He can do other things. So why haven't we seen him be able to do these other things? Like, it's just kind of like those two have just been kind of pushed under a rug and forgot about. And
I don't know.
really
It's weird.
It is.
I feel like other teams.
With Danny Gray's speed, you should be able to hike the ball, take a certain amount of steps, and throw a pass that you practice over and over and over again, and he should be under that spot.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be, if he's so fast, it should be before a safety can come over to get in the way, and it should be while a defensive back is trailing him. So it should be a perfect pass caught on the run type of thing. We should be able to do that with the Danny Gray. We don't need him to do that 70 yards down the field.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It could be 30 yards down the field and money every time. It doesn't, you know what I mean? And if you catch him on the run with the safety not being able to get over the top in time, that is a touchdown. That is 70 yards down the field eventually.
Yeah. What's up, John B? I hope you stay safe out there. I know a lot of people are getting some crazy storms around the United States. So
I thought I was going to lose power today.
I have one more that's kind of on the edge. Now, this guy didn't start off on this team to start the season. I was really hoping that when we traded for him, that he would make a bigger difference on the team.
I know where you're going with this.
And it's a small sample size, but guess what? I only have a small sample size to go off of. Also, people were throwing out that, we might not be able to pay Brandon Ayuk because the 49ers are going to have to pay this player. Well, this player, in my opinion, didn't show us enough in a handful of games to warrant getting this big ass contract extension over a guy like Brandon Ayuk, who we drafted, who's been on this team, growing, learning, doing everything that he can for the last 4 years, and that's going to be Chase Young. I think, obviously, the way that us and fans and content creators talked about him when we traded for him, it was that he was going to come in and the D-line troubles that we had seen up until that point were going to disappear, because now Bosa finally had a guy opposite him to actually do something. And I know that they've been, having other schemes. They've been doing this and doing that and not necessarily going off of sacks and all this. And I'm not saying he hasn't done shit on this team. What I'm saying is he hasn't lived up to the hype that I was expecting from him. Now, maybe you weren't expecting that much from him. And so what he's done has been great and whatever, but he hasn't done half of what I thought he was going to be when we traded for him.
Damn, half.
Which would be great, because that would mean that his contract should be cheaper.
But it's not going to be.
I mean, is he just going to demand a gigantic contract just because of his draft status? I mean,
yeah,
he's third pick overall.
He has been great in the run game.
Yeah,
that's the one thing where I'm like, okay, well, it totally helped to bring him in because he has been havoc.
Our defense hasn't been great in the run game these last few weeks since Javon and Armstead have been out. So if he was that great, then
I hear Eric Armstead is coming back, so that to me is really great news. If he can stay healthy through to the Super Bowl, if we can get there, that would just be one of the best things ever for this team. Because we can really anchor around him. He takes pride in setting an edge on first and second down, and he loves being a bully bastard on third down. He loves, you know what I'm saying? You see him in there. He loves just getting after those offensive linemen, those interior offensive linemen, and making them work for every dollar. And he's just it's like a 6'10" lanky, like it's a mismatch. He can get his hands on you before you can get your hands on him.
We should have never let DJ Jones go to begin with.
I
DJ
love DJ Jones.
Like, I feel like we've been trying to replace DJ Jones since he left, and we haven't found
Yeah,
him.
we lost Khalil Davis, and we barely had him this year.
Well, Khalil Davis, I mean, we didn't have him to even begin, so he didn't.
He had sacked his first game, and then he got hurt. Sebastian Joseph Day's on the squad.
I swear he was like playing basketball with people on the defensive line there. Like he would just, make them think that he had a basketball, was about to take that shot, and then he'd fake him out and get right behind him and tackle the running back. You know what I'm saying? Like he just fake them out of their shoes, and like he's just a nasty guy, just always in there, always in the middle, like to getting in the shit. Love a good guy who loves to get in the shit like that.
I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but we obviously lost Jason Verrett for the season. Everybody knows that. We didn't really get a chance to even really use him, but we did work out a pretty decent cornerback. And I know he's up there in age, he's 34, but he has made the Pro Bowl twice, and he was actually pretty decent when I remember him on the Raiders. And Casey Hayward, we did have him in for a workout today. He's been in the league for quite some time, but has made the Pro Bowl twice, made the All-Pro twice as well, actually in 2016 and 2017. So it's going to be interesting to see if the 49ers do pick him up for some depth purposes. I'd totally welcome it. So I don't think it would hurt.
And look at everybody they're working out. They're only working out like vets. They're looking out guys who can bring something to the team in some aspect, even if you might not see the field right now or at all. As long as you could do something in practice, as far as, and in the rooms, and as far as teaching the young guys and other people, and that's what they're looking for. Like Verrett got hurt. What did Kyle? I think it was Kyle say. He's like, yeah, hopefully he stays around because we really like having him around here. You know what I mean? He's injured. He doesn't have to be around, but we hope that he's around because we want all his experience. We want him here in the team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. One more thing, and then we can get out of here. Looking back on the 2023 season, and hopefully we get to the same place as we did in the 2019 season, but that we actually win it this time. But taking a look back at those two seasons, what has been the better experience for you? Not the better team, okay? Because we can debate going back and forth on that. But as a fan, as a content creator, as everything, what has been a better season for you personally, 2019 or 2023?
I have more fun in 2023. Just, again, the whole aspect of you and I talking about how we see quarterbacks from all these other teams for all these years, and they're never 49er quarterbacks, and we finally had a season that we got to see this in the 49er uniform for quite some time. And that definitely, and Jimmy was pretty decent. It was pretty good in 2019, but he's, at the end of the day, he's always going to be Jimmy. Even if it's good Jimmy. Good Jimmy was never as good as what we're seeing from Purdy. So definitely the Purdy factor makes me feel better.
It's totally that. No jittery Jimmy. Or James Richard Garoppolo, because you use Jimmy in place of James for people that you appreciate. So I don't think that it was necessarily worse. It's just a lot of games were more nerve-wracking. We lost games this year, but the games we won, most of them were pretty handed. And we came up against good teams and we smacked them. So we also lost to some. But you know what I'm saying? Like we smacked good teams instead of just eking by. So it was the 2019. How many games, nail biting games, did we have with the Seahawks that year? The last one was definitely a nail biter. Pretty sure the first one was too.
Literally down to the
I
last
just
play of the last game to freaking clinch the freaking
Right.
division.
right. So it comes down to essentially Purdy. The defense is keyed up like it was then. The offense had hitters just like it does now. We had guys. So right now it's the difference is Purdy and him being able to execute well in this offense. We've never seen somebody who brought what he does to this offense.
Yeah, I gotta go with you guys as well. 2023, 2019. Don't get me wrong. Like, I had the feels that season. Like, that season was special up until the ending. But like
7
you guys
minutes
said,
left in the
like
game.
there was not a game that we watched that season, win, lose, tie, that I wasn't having to PPP the whole game, puke, pee, poop, everything. Like, I was always sick to my fucking stomach. I felt like, like always down to the last second of the game. You're not knowing whether your quarterback's going to throw a freaking pick when you need him the most. Like, it never fucking failed. Like, him and his damn
Everybody else does a good
interceptions.
job.
And yeah, like, oh man. So as much as I loved that season and I really thought we had the team, but you don't know what you don't know, right? So now seeing this team, having Purdy, having, our same main studs, our same captains, pretty much from that season, like our same guys, Kittle, Fred Warner, Greenlaw, like our main guys, Nick Bosa, they're all older now, wiser now, better football players now. And I feel like they've just grown that much closer. And now they finally have a quarterback that can do what he needs to do. And like you said, the Purdy effect, like, man, like that kid's special. And to see him do what he's done through his first full season leading this team has been an awesome experience as a fan. It's been an awesome experience as a content creator. Like, it's just been a great season overall. And, like personally, like I've had a ton of shit going on. So like the last year for me has like not been great, but on the football side of things, like it's been so nice to have a team that is playing so well, that is so fun to watch, a team that like I don't have to get stressed out by watching the games. Like, I'm actually happy, like excited, like being able to be a fan. Like, before I was always so fucking stressed out, crying, pulling my hair out, like it was madness trying to be a fan of the freaking 49ers. And now it's just it's been so nice to have this to take my mind off and just be able to get away from real life, at times. And that's a thank you to you guys, like to the chat. Like, it's been a great season all around. And I couldn't imagine being with more awesome people than you guys. So it's been great. Oh yes, throwback, that is going to go down as one of the best moments ever in fandom for me. And that's finally beating Seattle on Thanksgiving, eating turkey on their freaking field. Like, we've been needing that as a fan base, as a team, as an organization. Like, we have been needing that, and we deserve that. And I'm so glad that we finally got it.
George Kittle running off with the turkey.
Yep.
He wanted to make sure everybody got to eat some turkey.
Turkey.
You played in this game, you deserve to eat some of this.
Just don't be a turkey.
Yep. Closing thoughts, guys, and what do you guys got going on the rest of the week? Tell the people. Let's get out of here.
Skedaddle. Fun. It's been a fun season. Obviously, it felt like basically the last game of the season was a preseason, late season preseason game, so to speak. So, knock on wood, we did get a couple of scares, but no major injuries. And Clelin Ferrell going on the cart. Miriah made my heart drop when she posted that picture of Clelin Ferrell getting carted off I think they were just being extra cautious, and sounds like he might be back for the first playoff game. Hopefully. So it wasn't like extremely bad like everybody thought. And there are a couple little nicked up injuries here and there, but most of the guys will be back for the first playoff game, so I'm not really tripping. And Armstead's already back in the mix, so that's good to hear. But really great fun season. Generally, asked what makes this season fun, and yes, a lot of good memories for this season, especially on offense. This is like the one season where I felt like we were really running the Shanahan offense. But what's going on my channel? Really quick. I'm not going. I don't think I'll be going on with Raj this Friday. We were talking about it because we're not playing a game this upcoming week, so we might take that show off. But if anything, I'll definitely go live with Ted on Friday at 3 p.m. So look out for that, and I should go live with Aaron on Saturday at 3 p.m. as well. But the Raj show might not be in the works this Friday. But if anything changes, I'll let you guys know. That's about it. Just have a great playoff season. Let's kick ass and get some good rest before the game start.
Yes, sir.
I got the rivalry with Joe Stevens. I'll probably be live streaming a lot of games this week, so hit me up.
Hit him up. Me tomorrow at 2 Pacific time will be me and TL, and then Thursday at 3 Pacific time will be me and Steph Sanchez for the Two Goats show. So make sure you come through, check us out. And just closing thoughts is I appreciate you guys. Thanks for everything. I agree. Let's go kick some ass in the playoffs. Hope the guys take care of their bodies and get ready for once we find out. The only thing that's bad about this whole thing is that we don't know who we're going to play. Like, I want to be knowing who we can play, who we're going to play, so I can be bugging their fans and just getting into it, like the guys being able to prepare, like they got to wait till they find out. So it's going to be some good football this weekend, even though the 49ers don't play. At least we'll find out who we're going to play. So everybody have a great rest of your week. Have a safe week. Have a relaxing week with no football to worry about. And last time, let me tell you guys one more time that if you're not subscribed to these two guys' channel right here, make sure that you go to the description box of this video and you click on the links to their channels and hit that subscribe button. This show does rotate, so next week we will not be here. We will be on one of their channels, so make sure you're subscribed so that you can find us. The three of us will see you next week at 6 Pacific time on Tuesday. Until then, we're out of here, faithful.
49er minded.